This is the most terrifying broken blade scene in the Forged in Fire competition. With one strike there was no warning at all, and the blade flew straight towards the judge's left hand. The scene was comparable to that death-dealing one-handed sword that almost took Nelson away, and the root cause of all this lies in the bizarre competition rules set by the show organizers. The forging materials for this competition are two pieces of 1095 high-carbon steel. The show organizers require the contestants to freely create with these materials and forge a distinctive short blade within 3 hours. Upon hearing such a simple requirement, the contestants instantly burst into joy. However, the host's next words left all the contestants in collective silence. The host said that every 30 minutes, a random forging condition would be added. This completely random rule made the competition even more difficult. Everything was uncertain, so the contestants didn't dare to take risks. As the competition began, the contestants quickly retrieved the steel and started forging. Jake was very cautious. He was afraid that later on the show organizers would come up with strange requirements, so he didn't weld the two steel billets together, but instead kept them separate and put them directly into the furnace for forging. Since there were clear parameter requirements for the length of the finished blade, Jake confidently marked the measurements on the anvil. In contrast, Allan was bolder. He believed that one steel billet simply couldn't meet the parameter requirements, so he directly welded the two steel billets together and put them into the furnace for heating. Once the temperature reached the standard, he quickly used a press to start forging, but due to improper operation, it directly caused the steel billet to delaminate. Allan quickly sprinkled a large amount of flux to remedy the situation. Rhino was even more meticulous. Before starting the forging, he first used a belt sander to polish the impurities on the surface of the steel billet. This would result in a better welding effect and also prevent situations like delamination that Allan encountered. In the blink of an eye, Jake had already heated the steel billet red hot and completed the forging under the action of the press. The final result was perfect, but he didn't dare to proceed to the next step because it was almost time for the host to announce the bonus condition. Half an hour passed, and the host began to announce the additional condition. The contestants needed to use the method of sandwiching hard steel with soft steel for 3-layer forging. Upon hearing this, all the contestants were on the verge of tears. This forging method had an extremely high failure rate, but even so they had no choice but to proceed with gritted teeth. Rhino decided to forge using the conventional 3-layer sandwiching method, while Jake chose the U-shaped sandwiching method. This method was more difficult, but could enhance the toughness of the blade spine. On the other side, Allan failed to remedy the welding delamination, so he decided to start over. At this point, he was still optimistically thinking that it wouldn't take too long, but just as he was about to use a power hammer for forge welding and stretching, the host announced a new forging rule. From this moment on, all power hammers in the venue were prohibited from use. At this time, the steel billets of the other contestants had basically taken shape, so it didn't have much impact. Only Allan fell into deep despair.